Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Fox of J2 Architecture.
And I'm Marisa Orlich Interiors.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about acoustics. We'll talk a little bit about the commercial side of things and acoustic considerations, and then Marisa's going to talk about what she's seen in her design implementations of acoustics in homes.
Right. So there's many different ways to, do sound dampening in homes, and not many people are putting carpet in their overall space. So as a proponent of that, you have to add rugs, and getting rugs for different applications, the bigger the better to really amplify the room. I always am a believer of having furniture on rugs. It helps with the noise because you get like double layers of sound dampening. But different types of synthetics of rugs really transfer sound also. Then there's also things to think about like window treatments. If you this goes into like if you have older windows even, and you have some drafts, if you get window treatments that are interlined, so you have more lining than necessary, it's great to add to that, to the warmth as well as to the sound dampening.
It's a great point. Just the layers in that make a big difference.
Always think, if you're like trying to combat sound, whether you have older windows and you have noisy neighbors or something, think about how many layers you could layer. So whether it's the shade, the window, the draper itself, like each layer is gonna dampen the sound. And then if people are trying to do acoustics, whether it's for movie theaters, like we talk about movie theater design a lot, and that has carpet. We always do. We tend to always do carpet in a movie theater, and plushier chairs and couches, and just amplify the pillows. And then most of those walls have specific type of insulation inside, as well as sometimes we've even done beautiful upholstered walls, where we have an upholstery team come in on site and they just pad the walls with and we can do whatever fabric, and even if you just want to do panels on that, that's another option.
And I love that, because even if it's whether it's a commercial theater or a home theater, you bring a team in to do that. I mean, they're specialists. All they do and all they know is acoustics for home theaters and things like that. So something to think about, someone to get on board. And there are so many ways to handle it. So I think that's a great, and it's very similar in the commercial spaces. A lot of offices now, you have conference rooms. A lot of people want the conference rooms to really contain the sound. If you're an attorney or you're at a big corporation, you don't want to be able to hear what's going on. They make drywall that's sound absorbing drywall. The more you insulate a wall, like you said, that's exactly right, the more the sound is absorbed. The ceiling finishes, insulation above the ceiling. But like you said, carpet is just so key. You don't realize how much of a difference carpet and soft seating can make with absorbing sound. Almost every conference room that we do, we recommend doing carpet, not only for the sound, but you're in a chair, you've got rolling chairs. You don't want to be sliding around on a hardwood or a vinyl floor. The carpet really makes a difference. A lot of open concept offices, you have these big workstations. We do carpet under the workstations, almost in almost like a grid, or even if it's a little irregular, you put carpet under where the chairs and the desks are, and it's just it's more comfortable for the user, and it's more comfortable for the overall space, so you just don't have sound bouncing everywhere.
And are you doing anything in the ceilings in these commercial spaces to combat the noise?
If there's a specific use that they want to do, we'll insulate the ceiling, whether it's sheetrock or an acoustic ceiling tile has really good properties of absorbing sound. If you have a double height, an atrium or a lobby in an office space, sometimes we do, there are companies who make like an insulated panel that gets suspended from the ceiling. And I know a lot of us have seen them in restaurants. We've seen them in any kind of coffee shop or a bar that has an open ceiling. You want something that's not going to just bounce the sound. You want to have something that's going to absorb that sound. I was in a space in Riverhead very recently, very open, very beautiful space, but there was no soft materials anywhere. The floor was a hard the tables, the chairs, the ceiling was open, and there was a musician playing. It was great. A lot of sound bouncing around in that space.
You see that a lot with industrial design and everything. So if you like that loft living look, you like those hard surfaces, the metals, the beautiful finishes in their own right. But you have to think about how to combat that, and you think about combating them through where you're living. What can you contain there? You know, even if you have surround sound in the space, you know, you need to soften that a little bit with furnishing.
Yep.
So
yeah, and modern design is beautiful. Obviously, industrial design. But there are just things to think about, and some of these things you can retrofit afterwards. You know, it's not hard to, you know, look at doing a nice rug, an area rug, or these acoustic panels, or a wall covering. But things like insulation in the walls, you know, it's good to prepare for those things early on. For
sure. If you're doing a new build, it's definitely something to think about with open concept. It's a conversation to be had. Perhaps you want to have rugs under every seating area.
Yeah. So I know that we have listeners who are a little more in that world of floor and wall coverings, acoustic specialists. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Any more thoughts? Throw in the comments below. I'm Tyler of JM2 Architecture.
And I'm Marisa of Marisa Orlich Interiors.
Thank you.
Thank you.